Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to another technical analysis video. Today I'm going to start by covering Everdome. The ticker is DOME against USDT. We're looking at the weekly time frame. Now, first off, what I've got up here on the charts, I've got the RSI, okay, which is an indicator down here. It's the relative strength index, and you've got the price action. Now, I've got these two trend lines in here, so you can see that DOME put in this close high here around 0.00308 on the 5th of December, and since then you've had this retracement, and currently so you've produced a lower high. Okay, currently speaking, and you're being rejected. So what I wanted to point out to you guys here is to keep in mind, you've put in lower highs here. Okay, so you've got this descending level of resistance. Now, if you look at the RSI, you can see the RSI put in a high here, but put in a higher high in regards to the RSI, whilst we put in lower highs in the price. Now, what this indicates to us is something called a hidden bearish divergence. So what this means is, if we look at this image very quickly here, you can see that this is the bearish divergences, and it shows you the regular bearish divergence and the hidden bearish divergence. Now, how we tell that we're playing a that we're forming some sort of hidden bearish divergence is in the price. You can see you've got a high and then a lower high, so you've got a descending level of resistance. And then in the price, sorry, in the oscillator, which is our RSI, our indicator, we're putting in higher highs. Okay, so higher highs in the RSI, lower highs in the price. If we come over to DOME on the weekly here, you can see you've got higher highs in the RSI, lower highs in price. Okay, so this is indicating to us that on the weekly time frame, we're putting in something called a hidden bearish divergence. Now, this means that potentially we're looking to retrace here. To invalidate this, all we need to see Everdome do, or what we need to see it do, is tackle out of this resistance and put in a new high than this high that we've created for ourselves here on the 5th of December. So again, this is something to keep in mind. You might see this RSI start to roll down now potentially, and this is where you do come in for some sort of deeper retracement, looking to hold support on this local low here for Everdome, which is the current bottom. You've come up, you've been holding this level of support. Potentially you're depleting now, and the buying pressure is selling out, and you're looking to come down and retrace to a level of support. What I wanted to point out that ties up with this RSI hidden bearish divergence, I think on my last update that I did for Everdome, we was holding this channel of support, and I was saying, look, you've got some sort of potential, it's all a potential here, some sort of rising wedge. So let me get rid of this resistance. You had some sort of potential rising wedge here for DOME on the weekly, where you was coming up between support, resistance, support, resistance, support. We actually lost support, and we've turned that support into resistance, currently speaking, and where we're being rejected by. So you can see that potentially what tends to happen is when you break down from these patterns, you tend to retrace back down to where you started to form them, which is back down to these local lows here for Everdome, at 0.00145. So you can see that for the past couple of weeks we have had some relief. So when we lost this support, you can see that Everdome actually on the 2nd of January, or since the start of the new year, did actually rally up a total of 28%, closed last week or yesterday at 21% off of its local lows. You can still see that you are putting in higher lows than the bottom structure, okay, which is good. But at the same time, you have got this high, a lower high, this descending resistance, and in the RSI, you've got higher highs, which is creating that hidden bearish divergence we was talking about earlier. So what I'm potentially looking for here, if this is to invalidate that we are looking to come down for a potential retracement here, to invalidate that, as I've said, you do need to start getting back above this resistance, holding it as support, and attempting to reattack this ascending level of resistance that we have here for ourselves for DOME. But I mean, in the near short term, because we have lost this support and we are turning it into resistance, again, normally what happens is you have 3 points of contact on a pattern. Again, you had 1 point of contact for support, 2 points of contact for support, third point of contact to support, you lost it. Okay, and up here you had 1 point of resistance, 2 point of resistance, 3 points of resistance. Okay, so you had the 6 points of contact needed, and this breakdown here confirmed that on the 6th point of contact you lost support, and now you turned it into resistance. So we do need to be careful moving forward. Well, what are my potential targets? You know, if Everdome is to retrace, because Bitcoin has had a large pump over the space of a week, 2 weeks, okay, and it's gone up quite quickly, you know, which is a little bit concerning. We do need to be cautious. What goes up is, you know, what skyrockets can come down just as fast, so we do need to be a bit more cautious and make sure this isn't a fake out. But if it's not, I would be looking for some sort of retracement in the near future anyway, and potentially on the weekly we go from our local high back down to the current low that we're holding, and this is where potentially we could find support. Again, if I look on the daily, this might look a little bit clearer for us. Yeah, so what we're doing is we're retracing from this high back down to this low, of which you've had this rally. And right now, if we do come back to support, you can see this golden pocket was previous support where you broke out of this double bottom. So you had this double bottom here, you broke out, hold it as support, and then you've broken out. So right now, potentially what we want to see is a retest of this area of support that we was holding on the 3rd of January towards the 14th of January before we had the breakout. So it'd be nice to pull back to one of these areas, the golden ratio, the 0.50, which potentially would offer us a short opportunity right now of around 7 to 8%. Now, if we did come down to this area, it would be nice to see some sort of relief, but to confirm we are continuing the uptrend here and you're sort of flipping this switch and dragging this, flipping the trend over, we would need to see this high, this local high taken out at 0.00288. So these are things to look out for. And as I said, you've got that bearish divergence on the weekly. It wouldn't surprise me to come down for an area of support. Now, if we fail to hold that and we fail to hold the 0.618, essentially what you've done is basically you've come down, you've put in a lower high here than this previous high. And what's happening is you could be retracing back down to this 1 fib for support if we can't hold this 0.50 and 0.618 golden pocket area. And here I would be looking again for some sort of relief. Again, because it's been quite a support area for Everdome. You can see there's been quite a lot of support here since September, and it's been holding it for a little while. So it wouldn't surprise me to actually come back down to this area. If we was to lose the 0.50 and 0.618 and put in a bit of a bigger retracement, that would offer a 17% short opportunity back down to support. Again, if it's all a big if, and it's what we can look for, but if this low is lost equally, as well as losing this 0.50, lose this 1 fib, my targets would be a minimum 1272 to 161 to the 1618, again, which would be retracing a further would be an even larger correction, potentially of around 28 to 29%. But even if we was to experience that, guys, what you need to keep in mind here is if we do come down to this 1618 target and have quite an impulsive A, B, C wave down to this 1618, it's a big potential. What you've got to consider is this might provide a golden opportunity, because you've got this low, you've come up, you've made a high, potentially you're putting in some sort of correction back down to the 1618 at 0.00188. At this point, I would expect strong relief and a nice rally, and you will be putting in a low, a high, a higher low, and all you'd have to do is come up, tackle the high that we currently have, and again, you're forming this bullish structure where you're looking to take off. So again, just to finalize, I am looking for a bit of a pullback here on Everdome in the short term, because we've got that hidden bearish divergence. Let me just clear this chart. We've got the hidden bearish divergence. We have got a level of resistance above us. We're putting in lower highs currently speaking, okay, which indicates depleting buying pressure, and it looks like you're going to start rolling over. As I said, you've got the local support, you've got the 0.618 and 0.50 area of the double bottom as support. So there is a lot of support in front of us to look to hold for relief. Okay, but I've given you the targets. If you start to lose those, the 0.50 and the 0.618, do expect a retracement back down to this area in January where you started to move impulsively. And as I said, you could have this A, B, and a large C wave back down to support to that 1618 target I had on the fibs a minute ago, where you still would be putting in a higher low, and as I said, working up in bullish structure. So it's all about seeing that confirmation come in the coming weeks. As I said, Bitcoin in the market has had a lovely pickup since the start of the new year, but it has gone up quite quick, so I would expect it to come down. And if it does come down in the near short term, do expect alts to follow suit. Now again, nothing that I say is financial advice here. You can see that on the daily time frame, we have had a bullish cross where you form this low. As I said, you're the double bottom, you broke out, came back to these EMAs, and then you've had this other wave up. But right now, what we need to see for confirmation is that the 20 EMA, the yellow EMA here, we need to see that as confirmation of support. Now that yellow EMA does sort of tie up roughly with the area of the 0.50 and 0.618 that we're looking for support. So where we're looking for support was right here, I believe. I'll just get the fib on to confirm it before I go. Yeah, because you can see that this pocket right here, we had this double bottom resistance, broke out, you've had an impulsive wave. Right now it'd be healthy to retrace back to this double bottom resistance. You had the resistance, breakout, turn it to support, and again, as I said, you would have to then tackle the local high to confirm that you're in the uptrend still. If we come down and start to lose these EMAs on the daily, okay, this is and hit your heads on these areas of resistance instead of support, this is where I would be looking for that push down to the 1 fib, and if that's lost, then even further, that the 1618 target, where I would expect an A, a B, and quite a ferocious C. The 1272 could also excel as support moving forward. So that's a quick update for you today, guys. I hope you enjoyed the content on Everdome. If you did, please do like, comment, and subscribe. Hit that notification bell for my next videos. From Chart Nerd TA, take care, guys. Have a great day. Peace out.